Welcome to part 4 of my Mechanism tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at, well, I'm kind of sick of going down to the mine and mining, so let's go and have a look what we can actually do. Some of you who have tried Mechanism at least will know what's coming. By the way, I've replaced these with player sensors. Yeah, obviously they're perfect. They're in this mod pack. Gets rid of the pressure plates from the floor, which is always good. And one other quick thing I forgot to mention, when I made these free runners, they do get you up steps of 1, but they also prevent fall damage. Now, I've got a carpenter's hatch here, but I've got basically my mining all the way down here, and I've got a splash pool at the bottom. But if I didn't have a splash pool, here's my jetpack. If I didn't have a splash pool, this would absorb all the damage. What on earth? I have no idea what that is. Yeah. Anyway, ignoring that for a side, what I had to do, and that may have been something to do with what I had to do manually to fix the problem that I described, I think it was the last episode, where I couldn't push stuff into this machine, the purification chamber. I've just manually updated to 8.1.7, I think it is. Let me just double check to see if this is now working. Let's get some logistical pipes, and do I have a chest somewhere? Hopefully I do. If not, no worries. So if I can now, hopefully, let's just move that one further up. I then should be able to logistical transport, and configuring items is the one I want. Pull, and then if I've got some ore, 1 piece of gold. Yep, it now works. So just bear in mind, if you're on the recommended pack as of today, I think it's the the FTB recommended version. Just bear in mind, if you get this kind of problem with logistical transporters, just make sure to update your mechanism, or wait for the next version of the pack. Either way, this is the Daybreaker pack, of course, so that's fine. If you wonder what this thing is in the corner, it's a charge pad. It's a fairly simple recipe, so I haven't bothered showing it on camera. And it just pulls from behind this hollow stone cover, and I can just stand on it. And if I had anything that needed charging, it would charge in my inventory. So it saves me having to explicitly put things in here. You'll notice this is now upgraded to the next version. And that's all well and good. So let's get on with this episode and what we're going to be doing. As you'll see, first of all, I've been making gas tanks, and these are filling up with hydrogen just as a byproduct of processing ore. If I wanted to, in fact, do I have any stone covers to get rid of that temporarily? Yeah, there we go. If, however, where was I? Ah, yes. If I wasn't doing the processing of ore, then I could probably fill up more tanks. The way I've got this set up now, if I look in here, is I've set the right hand side one to idle. What that means is as soon as this fills up, it's going to stop producing hydrogen. Mainly because if I set them both dumping excess, this would be permanently on. And this, even with the energy upgrades, actually uses, a bunch of power when it's on. So I just decided not to have that. But even so, I've still got like 3 full gas tanks. So what can we do with all of this excess hydrogen? We can make a generator and attach it to our system to make it go a little bit faster. Now you may have spotted outside when I first started that I've expanded this to 3 windmills now. I'm not going any further there. That's more than enough. That's your typical kind of setup. However, it wouldn't hurt to add some more power to it. And this isn't really going up a tier. It's not really making it massively more powerful, at least not initially. The gas, we're going to be using gas burning generators to burn off this excess hydrogen to make a bit more power. And again, it's not an extra tier, it's just more power of a different type. So we don't have to worry about making huge multi-blocks yet for power. We will do, unfortunately, later on. So let's get started by making a gas burning generator. Oops, it's a gas hyphen burning. So typical kind of stuff here, a couple of osmium dust, pulverized iron and gold. So we've got a crusher now, so we can do that. A couple of osmium. And what else was it? Yeah, more of those, which I think I've got plenty of. A couple of steel casings, which I've got a couple of, that's fine. And some more osmium, which is okay. So first, let's just crush. So we're just going to turn off the auto eject for a second and get the dust back out of this. But I don't throw it all over the floor. And there we go. We can shift click that and shift click this, and we've got a gas burning generator. To which I've already got another one in here. I made this just before the episode, just to make this a little bit faster for you guys. Obviously, I don't want to use up all your time on crafting kinds we've seen before. And as you'll notice, this is a different cable as well. The default cable could only take 3.2. Is it 3.2? Yeah, 3.2 kilojoules per tick. This one could take 12.8. So you'll notice that some of this and the one that goes up to the windmills I've upgraded, and all of this stuff behind here is all the new type as well. So, you know, you don't need to worry about bottlenecking power. So how do these work? Well, you can connect them up to electrical separators. I'll come on to that in a second. Or, in fact, let's just get a couple of gas tanks. Or you can do it this way. Helps if it's set to a wrench. Just like lots of batteries, you can just drop in your gas tank and it will fill up the tank from it. And you can charge things up on the right hand side. However, there's a there's a big proviso here. If you think you can just hook up another electrolytic separator like this behind those and try to reuse it, so basically just make them generate just hydrogen and dump the oxygen, you can do that, but that doesn't generate more power, if you like. I was reading an issue on the GitHub repository for Mekanism, and they were basically talking about using hydrogen as an energy carrier, not an energy generator. In my case, though, we're not up to that yet and using hydrogen in a more advanced way, because there are ways to do, I think it's ethanol or ethylene or one or the other. We're not up to that yet, but all this excess gas that we're going to be getting out of here, we can just use up to burn and get a little bit more power like this. And that's then going to recharge the machines. Because even though I've got the next energy cube up, if I start all these machines, let's say I put one stack of ore, this is going to drain. I mean, it will certainly be below half, if not all the way to the bottom. So given what we're about to do next, yeah, we're going to need to think about more power. Speaking of what we're going to do next, we need to get more ores. You see I've got lots of coal, I've got lots of copper and tin and silver. Something missing? Yep, iron ore. This mod uses iron pretty much like industrial craft uses iron, by which I mean you always are out of iron. So the next thing we can actually create is called a digital miner. Here it is. And it's a fairly complex recipe that I've done off camera, so don't worry about actually watching me get through all this, because I don't want to spend the entire episode on just crafting this one item. Most of it is straightforward. Logistical sorter, that's a very straightforward recipe. All of these you've seen before, apart from the teleportation cores, which is, again, stuff that you've already seen before. Diamond, a couple of gold, more of that atomic alloy. And that makes up a digital miner. The one bit that is a bit more complex is the row bit in the center, or a robot, like a robot, but robot. And that requires some more of this stuff, but it's an electric chest, and that requires the usual kind of stuff that you've already got lots of: steel, glass, control circuits. So it's a bit more in depth, but not that much more. And what does it look like? Well, let's get some... Yeah, I've got some cobblestone, that's what I want. Let's go and have a look. Behold, the digital miner. Now on top is a bin, and you haven't seen bins yet, but they're pretty much like, if you've used the factorization barrels or Jabba barrels, they're very similar. I don't think they've got as many features as Jabba barrels, but in this pack, this is what we get. So you can just have as well a very high number of an individual single type of block. So I can put cobble in here, but not sand at the same time. I have to have a separate bin for that, and we're going to use those for storing stuff up there later. If I just remove that for a second, you'll notice, if I just remove this as well, just doing some testing earlier, there are two slots, one on the top, one on the back. The one on the back is for pulling items out, well, it is for getting the output of the digital miner, so just put a chest there for now. We can hook it up to more elaborate systems later, but this chest has a lot of slots, so yeah, I shouldn't be out anytime soon. On the top, I'm going to put the bin back, and I'm going to keep a little bit of cobblestone. I'll show you why shortly. And right-click on the interface. It's a bit more complex of a user interface than you're perhaps used to. So to start off with, this is the reset button. Once you're finished with a particular run, hit the reset button, and it'll return to this kind of screen. On the top right, auto eject, so that's going to push it out to that chest at the back. If you're pulling stuff with a logistical pipe system, you might not need this, but I do, so eject is on. Auto pull, I believe, relates to the bin on the top, so I'm going to turn that on as well. Silk touch, I'm not going to turn on, because I'm first going to go after iron, because I'm always out of iron. So we could just hit start, but that's not going to do anything at the moment because we haven't configured it. Second of all, we also need a power source. Now I've created an elite energy cube. That was weird. The tooltip said basic energy cube. That's yet another bug. Anyway, you could just attach this to the top and then configure it to point the right way. I'm not going to. You can just shift click it in and it'll be in the top slot. That is a huge amount. That's the next tier up above the one we have all the way up there. And I did that because this thing is going to use quite a bit of power. I've also gone ahead and upgraded its speed 8 times normal, energy 8 times more efficient, and we're going to config. So, on the left hand side we have the distances, radii from the machine, the minimum Y level, and the maximum Y level. 60 obviously, we're going to get everything below below ground level, or below sea level, sorry. So that's the place where we're going to be looking for iron anyway, so we're not going to change this up to our current Y level or anything like that. I is off. I is the inverse mode. We're going to put filters here on the right hand side. If you wanted the machine to, let's give you an example. Let's say you wanted to mine everything but cobble, sand, gravel, you know, the useless stuff. You put cobble, gravel and sand in the filters and then turn inverse on, so it would mine everything else. In our case, that's just the opposite. We are going to do a new filter. We just want to mine one thing. I'm going to use an audit filter. We might come into the others later, but if we go to audit, I'm going to type in star for wildcard Ron. So in this case, the normal thing would be like this. Would be ore iron, and I could save that and you would see that there. I want it just to be a bit less specific, so the star means anything, any other characters, so anything ending Ron. Is there any other? Yeah, there's a couple other types. It's going through the entire thing. It's going to mine iron bars and iron bushes if we get them, so that's all fine with me. I don't mind that at all. However, this is really, really unintuitive. Before I put those filters in, you used to use this at the top right. This was a global replace. What it does is you take your cobblestone And you normally click in there to tell it what to replace the things it mines with. That's why you've got a bin on the top with cobblestone in it. That's no longer the case. Now you go into config, set a filter, in this case, back to my this. And you think, oh, do I put it in here? No. You put it in here where you can't see anything. That has got to be the most hidden feature I've ever seen. But once it's in there, and I think that should work, maybe. Let's see if, let me just double check. Yeah, everything should be right, and I'm going to hit start. Now, if it doesn't start pulling that, I'm going to stop it and then use logistical pipes. I can't remember if it'll pull directly from a bin or not. Let's give it a go. Yeah, it's pulling directly from the bin. It says hello there. I think you can turn that. Never mind. So you can see it already mining this and how many it's got left to mine in this radius in this area. So if I pop back here, yeah, iron is no longer going to be a problem. So that's the digital miner. And obviously you're going to want to move this around. And that's one of the reasons why you can have this bin and chest set up. You can put effectively the battery inside. You can see it's going to be depleting. And you're going to move it around the world. And that is self-contained. Strictly speaking, you're probably going to change this to something like an ender chest. So you can move it to and from in the world, and it will always come back to your base. And that's probably what we're going to do as well. That just means I don't have to start hooking up logistics pipes all over the place. And yeah, there we go. We may have to get a better source of cobblestone because it's going to start using up a lot of cobblestone. It's now finished. So let's just stop that and reset. And now I can configure this to be 20 radius, which I will. Oops, I need to press the tick. 20 radius. Start. And now I've only got 430 to mine. Oh no, woe is me. Yeah. So I will leave that to run. And pretty much you can just add filters for whichever ones you want whenever you need them. You'll get the idea here if I drop this in and drop that in there. It's going to start depleting this side of things. And once it's through its internal buffers in the machines, it will anyway. It's not got there yet. So, is that it for this episode? Not quite. I pretty much want to try and run... Yeah, remember clearing out space for this. These machines are all well and good. But I want to stop having to keep pulling stuff out of them by hand like this. It's no good. And we need a proper system for that. So I'm probably going to have to dig up the floor here. Let's just dig through. Yep, that should be good. And on this side, I want something similar. Now, before I go and start putting things together, I'm going to need some bins for process stuff. So bins are these. I'm going to need more, which is fine. I've got plenty of this stuff. In you go. I'm going to put them on the wall. Now, if you have a look here, I've made this wall 3 thick, which means I can quickly... fast is the one I want. Fast. Yeah, and then we can just probably, I'm hoping I can feed them from behind. And have the common metals maybe here like this. So in this case I want the bins, which is just control circuits and probably cobblestone, I think it is. Given that they're cobble bins, you'd hope so. Well, let's have a look. Yep, there we go. Bins and... let's just remove this for now. I'm probably going to have dusts up here too, but now let's put these down. And I'm going to put some manual stuff in them to lock them. There we go. And we're going to be using osmium because of this mod, so there we go. And now logistical transporters. So if I just put some piping down here to make sure the outputs of these machines are right. So let's make sure this isn't going to output to the back. It isn't. Make sure these will output to the back. Do it with the configurator, but it's faster just to do it with the machines, particularly given the number of different modes the configurator has. They should eject to the back if auto eject's on. Which it now is. However, they've got nowhere to go, so that doesn't surprise me. Let's bring them over here. Come on, up you come. And do I need the configurator items? What did I just do? Come on. I'll need it up later. Do I have to push into the top? I kind of hope I don't. Or the bottom. Yeah, let me give it a try in the bottom. It only has actual holes in the model there, so let's give that a try. Yeah, there we go, it's connecting. Now will it start outputting, I wonder? What am I? Creating iron dust, and it's not ejecting, that's why. Let's give it a go, let's see if it works now. There we go, there goes the iron. Should be coming across here and into the bottom of these. Here it comes. Oh, I've got chests in front and it's configured to go into chests. Let's just get rid of you. No, that's the wrench. That's pretty much it, I think. Let's see if any more come across. Oh, they got bounced. Well, the rest should go in. Let's just see if that goes above 35 now. It's still getting bounced. Maybe they have to go into the top. Okay, that's annoying. Let me do that off camera and I'll come back once I've got... it's a bit finicky. Once I've got that sorted. Yeah, it's going back and getting bounced. Alright. Cut to this being fixed. There we go, it's fixed. You do have to feed him into the top. It is like other barrel mods. I was just hoping I could feed him into other sides. It's always a bit more flexible when you do it that way, but no, this is fine. So now pretty much any output of this kind of ore system, and I'm probably going to have to get a couple more of these barrels sorted out. Tin and lead. Tin and lead maybe, or copper, actually. There we go. So that should pretty much sort it for all of our needs, at least, you know, at any time soon. And I wonder if I can actually lock it. I don't think it's... Does that lock it, I wonder? Yeah, if not, I'll figure it out. Anyway, that's it for this episode, I think. It's a pretty short episode. We've got a digital miner now. We've got gas burning generators. Is there anything else I wanted to show? I think there might have been... Ah, no, I do actually need to show something else. Let me just get all this tidied up, and then I'll come right back. All nice and tidy. And this mode isn't locking, unfortunately. That is auto-eject mode, which will just push them out of the bottom. Like a... Well, there's barrel mods that do the same kind of thing, like an auto-ejection barrel. Last thing I wanted to show you is a way to get back to the base. I'm kind of tired of running back if I'm out there in the middle of nowhere. And one of the ways to do that, as well as going between points and other mod packs, you end up with various portals. Mekanism is no different. So we can create a teleporter. Now, we've already used the teleportation cores in the digital miner. So the teleporter needs 4 basic control circuits, some steel casings, a teleportation core, and some of that. Let me get some of those together. In fact, let me just go and craft them off camera. So we want 1 teleporter, which is all of this. I'll craft them off camera because it's to keep the episode short. And we're going to need 9 teleporter frames. And there's no problem there because you get them out of the recipe. So it's more of these ingots along with a glowstone ingot. And we're also going to craft one of these portable teleporters. Again, another teleportation core, so plenty of diamonds being used. And then we need a charged version. So yeah, I'm going to go and craft those and come back, and then we'll show you how to use them. So I'm now fully charged with my portable teleporter, which doesn't really do anything. I can look at the interface. I've set up a home base, but that's for the other teleporter, so I did a bit of testing off camera. Let's just knock through a... I should set this to slow, otherwise I keep breaking everything. Or normal, actually. There we go. So, it's going to be something like this kind of size. I think I already ran some cable. Yeah. I need to block it off somewhere. I only need the center one, I think. Oh, no, hang on. Yeah. I need the floor. So let's just put that aside for a second. So we put one either side, and we build up a frame. Oops. Build up a frame like this. And then we put the teleporter at the bottom. And we can configure it then. I've already created this one, which is, let's just delete that. This is the way you'll get it when you craft it. Public, obviously, is so everyone can see those. Private is just so you can see it. So we can create a home base here. Click on accept. And that's fine. Now, if I created another teleporter somewhere else in the world, I will be able to then link them together. There's no link at the moment. However, if I have this one with me, was my... There we go, my hang glider. So if I'm out in the world, I should be able to get right back here without any problem. Let's sleep. So yeah, let's say I'm out of, looking for stuff. And incidentally, I'm not sure if this pack has dungeons on the surface or anything, so... Let's gather some wool. Where's my shears gone? Yep, thank you. And use my teleporter. Click on home base, click set, click teleport, and I'm back here. Which is, frankly, incredible. So I'll leave that part of Mekanism with you at the end of this episode. And I'll see you next episode to probably expand our system. We're probably going to have to look into, now that we've got a digital miner, in fact, let's go and just quickly check that. See how far it's got. It may well have completed its run. Yeah, it has actually stopped, so that's fine. And it's used about a third. Let's show you how much power that actually uses up to recharge this thing. Now that we've got the digital miner running, these single machines are probably... it's not even got any power, so I can't really pull stuff out of it. These single machines are no longer going to do what we want. Mekanism has a handy expansion of these machines called factories. They can process multiple stacks at once. So we're probably going to go into those next episode. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave me comments. Comments are always grateful. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.